Today is the 8th day of the month of Ramadan. And we have so far devoted our time to the preliminaries, if you want to study the Qur'an. And why is it so important to study the Qur'an as the Qur'an ought to be studied? The answer is that Allah says when He told Adam alayhi salam to make sajda, to prostrate himself before, my apologies. He ordered the angels to prostrate themselves before Adam alayhi salam. This was not a prostration of worship. This was a prostration of respect. The Hindus still have it up to now today, the prostration of respect, which belongs, to the first page of history. The angels were ordered to make sajda, but Iblis did not. Then Allah spoke to Adam and his wife, Hawa or Eve, and asked them to reside in the garden of paradise, in Jannah, but not to approach a forbidden tree. In this book, you will find the Quran, the Messiah, the Quran, and Akhir Zaman, and also Dajjal, the Quran, and Awwal Zaman. In both these books, you'll find references to that forbidden tree in the Quran. But then, although he was prohibited to do it, he did do it because Shaitan seduced him. Then Allah expelled them from Jannah to go and live on earth. And He said, I'm going to send guidance for you. I'm not just sending mankind on earth, I'm sending guidance to you. And if you follow the guidance, you will have no cause for fear and for grief. The guidance has come in the form of scriptures. And the last guidance has come in the Quran. And the Quran begins by the statement, Alif Lam Ba A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Alif Lam Mim. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This Quran has come to provide guidance. It has come to tell you what is money. If the Imran Khan government of Pakistan had listened to me 3 years ago, if they had listened to me or what I was talking to them about the guidance in the Quran concerning money and the dangers of the IMF and the monetary system created by godless, decadent, oppressive Western civilization, this paper money monetary system, they don't teach this subject in the Darul Uloom. So the Maulanas and the Mufti don't know the subject. They don't study monetary economics. If Pakistan's government had been faithful to the Quran, you would not have the inflation which was used as a sword to bring down the government. A failure, an economic failure. The government has to be blamed. Yes, Imran Khan has to be blamed because he did not follow the advice given to him for reasons best known to him. You have to go to the Quran to locate that guidance. And that's what we are doing now. We are teaching you how to go to the Quran, why to go to the Quran, why to study it, to locate the guidance which Allah has sent in the Quran. In order to be successful, the methodology for studying of the Quran, of course, must be followed if you are to receive that guidance. What is money in the Quran? When we teach the subject, you'll know that the Quran always gives you that money in the Quran is a gold coin called the dinar and a silver coin called the dirham. And it is when gold and silver are in short supply that the Sunnah gives us other sources, other kinds of money. Well, this is primary money. And money in the Qur'an has intrinsic value. And so therefore you cannot manipulate the value to bring about inflation, to bring down a government you don't like. Okay? So there would have been no inflation. Prices would rise and fall based on demand and supply. But when prices are only going up and up and up and up, the market is no longer a free and a fair market. The market is corrupted, the market is destroyed. Why was it so difficult for a man with a degree from Oxford University to understand so simple a thing? So if Imran Khan has been brought down, he has himself to blame, that he did not follow what we advise him to do. And so do not give your support to Imran Khan in the future unless and until you get a pledge from him that he recognizes absolute truth in the Quran. And one of the first things that his government will attempt to do, if ever he returned to power in Pakistan, is to remain faithful to the Quran in terms of what constitutes money. And therefore, an effort has to be made. It won't be done overnight. The Pakistan rupee will have to remain in the market, even while you make the gold dinar and silver dirham legal tender. Unless and until Imran Khan's government, his party, pledges that we are going to deal with inflation in this way, to restore money with integrity, it's just going to be the same story over and over again. And so now what is the way to study the Quran? How do we study the Quran? I want to simply take you to the verse of the Quran, or the verses of the Quran, which are the supremely important verses, and we leave the subject there. It is in Surah Al-Waqi'ah. And my teacher had directed me to this subject when I was 25, 26 years of age, but I was a green banana. I couldn't really, it couldn't soak in. Allah speaks in Surah Al-Waqi'ah, and this is what He says. Listen carefully. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فلا أقسم بمواقع النجوم, and I take an oath by the positions in which the stars are located. وَإِنَّهُ لَقَسَمٌ لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عَظِيمٌ, and this is not any ordinary oath or qasam. This is a supremely important oath or qasam. This is the mother of all qasam or oath. What is it? What is the Quran speaking about? وَإِنَّهُ لَقَسَمٌ لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عَظِيمٌ, the positions in which the stars are located. إِنَّهُ لَقُرْآنٌ كَرِيمٌ, this is a recitation. Quran means recitation. This is a recitation which is noble and generous. And so whoever recites this Quran and whoever studies this Quran, Allah will raise you. This Quran will raise you to a position of nobility, to a high status. The dogs can keep on barking, but this Quran will raise you to a very high status. إِنَّهُ لَقُرْآنٌ كَرِيمٌ فِي كِتَابٍ مَكْنُونٍ, this recitation called the Quran is located, is preserved in a book which is guarded and preserved. Was it the son of the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, that gifted son he had, his eldest son, who was a scholar and a thinker and a man of great insight, Muhammad Darashuku. Yes, I just read a book about Darashuku, and he came to the conclusion that the Kitab Maknoon, the book which is Maknoon, was the Vedas or the Upanishads or so on. No, Darashuku, that's a mistake. The Kitab Maknoon is the Quran, which is preserved in a book. La yamassuhu illa al-mutahharun. None can touch. Is this touching literal? Is this ayah muhkama? Or is this symbolic? Is it ayah mutashabiha? How can you touch a recitation? It is the recitation that Allah is speaking about, not the book in which the recitation is located. La yamassuhu, none can touch it, the recitation, illa al-mutahharun. So this cannot be, you can't touch something which is located in the world of sound. So Allah is actually saying that you cannot penetrate this Quran beyond even touching the Quran, the surface meaning of the Quran. You cannot penetrate that unless you are clean and pure, and that cleanliness and purity of the heart means the heart must be faithful to the one God and faithful to the truth which has come from the one God. Can you be faithful to the one God and you are a Muslim and you have a bottle of whiskey in your hand? Can you be faithful? Can a bottle of whiskey lead you to provide guidance for Pakistan? No. We are asking you, turn away from the whiskey. This is your brother Imran talking to you. You have a future. Tomorrow, you have a future if you return to the Quran with tears in your eyes. And return to the Quran and study the Quran with a heart which is turned to Allah, not to a bottle of whiskey. And tomorrow, Allah can bless you to be a dazzling light for the whole of Pakistan, intellectual light for the whole of Pakistan. It's time to make tawbah. Return to a heart which is clean and pure. And then you'll be able to study the Quran. So what is the oath? Answer: if you want to study the Quran, you have to study the Quran the way you study the stars. Let me repeat that and we will end. If you want to study the Quran, you have to study the Quran the way you study the stars. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.